have it all. I can have it all.
Hello, everybody. It's Christy Whitman with the Quantum Success Show, where you can get your information and inspiration to create your desires. And as you can see, I have a friend, and this is Elizabeth Purvis. She is a mentor and teacher of magic to thousands of conscious women around the world, really showing them how to develop their divinely given manifesting power. Go, Elizabeth. Especially in the realm of money. Double go, Elizabeth. She's the founder of Goddess Business School, which delivers a proven path to create a sustainable six-figure lifestyle business for coaches, practitioners, healers, and change agents. I love that. So a priestess and practitioner of Western esoteric traditions, Elizabeth is also the creator of Feminine Magic, a set of practices for women to develop their ability to magnetize their deepest desires. So this is going to be a fun discussion. I know that. Welcome.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me. It's such a blessing to get to share space with you. You've been totally inspirational to me on my path and, over the years. And it's just very cool to be here and to be with your community.
Awesome. Well, I'm really happy to have you. So thank you. And this is right up my alley. It's what I love talking about. So I'm just thrilled to get into this with you. So
awesome.
Yeah. So let's get into the first thing. How do you define, or what is feminine magic?
Yeah, I define it as, because magic is such a huge topic. It's an archetypal word, right? And everyone's got their meaning that they put on it, which is totally fine. It's got multiple meanings. And I come from a tradition of magic as transformational work. So for me, with feminine magic, I've taken all of my, background in Western traditions, and then I came over to the personal growth world and was like, whoa, they've already been doing all of this stuff I've been studying for years. And it's really a system to create what you really want at the soul level. And that's sort of like level one. Like magic level one is create what you desire at a soul level, manifesting. And then, of course, level two, which is really the same thing, is returning to who you are, which is your divine nature. It's stripping away everything that's not you, all of the programming we picked up over the years, and really step into our power as divine beings. And so that's what it is. Feminine magic is my system and way of doing that with women.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So there's a question that I get all the time, and I would love to see how your perspective and your answer on this. But some people say that, well, manifestation only works some of the time, or it only works for some of the people. Is there a way that you feel that people block their manifestations?
Yeah. And this is hilarious. Like, I have really cut my teeth with this material as a business coach, because I've always, and I know that you do this too, like it always has to have a context, right? Like magic has to have it to me. And even back when I was, being trained as a Wiccan priestess, like years ago, I was like, this has got to show up on the physical plane. And so when I went to my community and I was like, what's your biggest problem with manifesting? Their answer was, well, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And the reason why that's so is because we have these two halves of ourselves. We have this innate divine quality, and that's really the big secret of magic. I'll just say it right here and right now. We are divine. We have power. We have spiritual power. And what that really, really means, right, is kind of the path of magic. And we also, as the Course in Miracles put it, we live here in a physical body, on the physical plane. So while we have this desire to grow and expand, and it's one of the strongest urges we have, I call it desire. Wallace Wattles calls it, the urge for more life, or Joseph Campbell calls it your bliss. I hear some people call it the evolutionary impulse, which I just love. That we've got this desire to grow and expand. And then we also have a whole host of mechanisms as a human being to keep us from getting what we want. We have mechanisms that are put into place when we're very young that set us up not just with limiting beliefs, because that's another sort of aspect to manifesting language that I think is limiting. We always think it's just about the beliefs. But actually, if you look into what's really going on with us as humans, we set up a pattern, And then we are programmed to repeat what we've survived in the past. So if you've created a lot of debt in your life, there's a part of you that knows that you can survive the debt. If you had traumatic relationships as a child, and then you're like, why am I dating all these guys that are like crazy? Part of it is because we are set up with this pattern to repeat the patterns of the past. So it sets up this beautiful growth path for us, because on the one hand, we're like, yes, I want so much more. And then our humanness wants to keep us where we are. And it's doing that very positive intention. There's no judgment. It's like this beautiful thing that's sort of set up for the evolution of our soul. So a lot of times when people work with the manifesting tools, and I'm sure you've seen this, it's like they focus in one area or the other. Either they're focusing in the physical realm and they're like churning and like burning themselves out and it's all like go, go, go. Or in the spiritual realm, they're all like, I'm visualizing, I am, dreaming of $1 million. I am feeling the feeling of what it's like. And yet there's a difference between that and truly embodying, which includes, of course, the actions that we have to take on the opportunities. And we have a lot of resistance to taking the action on the opportunities. Does that make sense?
It does. And I hear what you're saying, and like the way I like interpret it and the way I think about it is, if someone has some kind of situation or circumstance in their life, it could be money, somebody else it could be their body, somebody else it could be relationships, whatever kind of is the area that we just keep bumping up against, and there's so much resistance in, and it feels like we're a victim to it. It's like no matter what I can't seem to get ahead. No matter what I do, I can't seem to lose the weight. No matter how many guys I meet, they all seem to be la la la. It just seems like we don't get any further. It's like I look at those areas as a really good way of having soul growth.
Yes,
it's not like we're in a school or anything, but it's like it's an opportunity for the expansion of the divine in us, which wants creation and divine, expansion anyway.
Exactly.
So that co-creative partnership that we as the physical and the divine inside of us, the non-physical, to create this bumping up against, say with a lot of people, it's money, and to be able to find that powerful divine connection back as it relates to money. And it's like if the money keeps winning out over the power that the divine has, and knowing who you are, then the money keeps coming as I don't like to say the lesson, but as the thing that needs to be released. And it's like when you get like the divine part of you that's bigger than this circumstance, then it doesn't have power over you anymore.
Exactly.
This condition has the power over you to make you feel weak, or make you feel like a victim, or make you feel hopeless, or whatever it is. There's more soul growth. There's more divine growth that has to happen.
Exactly. That's a beautiful way. I think of it the same way. I really encapsulated it in a beautiful way. And, one of the tools that I give people, and it's so simple, but we forget all the time, because half the fun of this, because I like to think of it as a fun thing, is, all the different ways we can work with this and transform. And it's very, very simple. At a certain point, you have to hold out the truth in front of you. You have to hold out the divine truth. You have to, because the laws and the principles, they are absolutely real, and they work like clockwork. It's crazy. Like, I'm stunned. Even now, I've been doing this for a decade, and I'm like, still, like, I get humbled by it. And the way that we, activate them and really, really call in the physical results is by holding that truth as real instead of the circumstances. Because, people get stopped by circumstances, and they energize. In feminine magic, we say what you energize manifests. So if you energize your circumstances instead of energizing the truth, you're going to get more of the circumstances. And it's about training yourself and teaching yourself and developing the skill set to reach for the truth. And I just remember years ago, one of my first mentors, a woman named Maria Gam, who's like a kick butt, she's a executive coach and a spiritual teacher, right? Executive spiritual teacher. And she said to me, this was years ago, she said, Elizabeth, your success in life and business depends entirely on your ability to take action on what you can't see. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it's always stuck with me. It's like we see the circumstances, but there's more that we don't see. You know, there's the truth and what's behind the truth. So
absolutely. I love that.
yeah.
So I've heard you say that there are two halves of the manifesting equation. I know we all have our own equation. I have my manifesting equation I talk about in the art of having it all. And
Yes.
most people aren't aware of this. So can you tell us what those are?
Yeah. I touched on them earlier. They are our divine side and our human side. So our human side is the side that actually has to take the motion to take the thing from up here down here.
Yes.
And then, of course, we have our divine side. So it's like our divine side is covered up. Our physical nature, which is awesome, is set up to have us resist taking what I call the aligned actions to bring things in. Because it's not about the doing. It's not about, you know, the old paradigm is the muscle through, like, you know, hustle. And of course, we all do that. Like anyone who's successful does that at certain points. And, you know, and I mean, I kind of like it, truthfully. I'm like, I'm a super creative person. And sometimes that shows up like that. But it's really about the physical side and how we work with our physical nature so we can actually take the actions. And our divine side, where we activate this divine power that we have to call in like opportunities and like things at us that we can then work with here on the physical. And when we have, and usually what I find is a lot of teachings on manifesting, I mean, focus on one or the other. You either have your old school goal setting or you have, you know, manifesting, which really focuses on the spiritual principles, but doesn't really show people how to bridge the gap to actually bring it down here. Because that's the part, because we hit up against our resistance. That's the growth part, as you pointed out. That's the magic. That's where the personal growth really happens.
Absolutely. I like to say in the way you're describing it is it's alignment and then momentum. So it's alignment with that divine and then taking the momentum from that place, because, you know, we can, and I'm guilty of this too, you know, it's like go, strive, do, take out the action in the world. But if you're not aligned, it's like you're spinning. And that's why
it's so true. Yeah. That's another.
They're like hitting their head up against a wall, you know, because it's like, I'm taking so much action. I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted. And it's like, if they would just take the time, even if it's just 20 minutes in the morning, to align themselves with their divine and meditate or do some affirmations or do some of these other processes, you know, to get in that place where they're feeling connected to the truth of who they are, like to their divine as a co-creative partnership.
Yes.
Any action they take, it's like doors open other than the pound on the doors, you know?
Right. And the divine will tell you, you know, like one of the practices in feminine magic, we have a 30-day manifesting game plan, because I love plans. I have a master's in computer science too. So I've got like this systems thing. And part of it is, you know, we go through a kind of a manifesting process every morning. And part of it is like, once you're connected, listen for what the opportunities are. Listen for what the divine is showing you. Because if you listen, if you ask to be shown, if you put things in motion to have the opportunities come, then it's easy. And it's like, oh, I don't have to do a zillion things. I do this one thing, you know, or I'm shown. And sometimes there's more to that, right? But it's you can feel confident. And once you have practice and you see it in action, like your confidence grows, you can feel confident that you're not just out there like throwing spaghetti against the wall, you know, to see what sticks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most important thing people need to know about manifesting?
Oh my gosh. The most important thing is that this stuff works. You know, it starts. So another framework that I use in feminine magic is what I call your 4 magical tools, your 4 manifesting tools. And they are the things that help you call in stuff. So perception is one, because how we see things, I mean, that's where we see the opportunities or not. Energy is another. Choice is a huge one. And faith. And faith is really the most important one, I feel. It's like, I sometimes change, like, they're all important, but like, if you don't believe, again, it gets back to putting your energy looking at what's not there versus what's here, because it's so easy. We are conditioned to see the circumstances in front of us as the truth.
Yes.
And we have to use our faith and our belief and our to the core of us knowledge. The first time that I ever used the process that is now my core manifesting process. It was early 2009. I had quit my job 2 years before. I was completely in the tank. I was living off credit cards, right? All this craziness. And it was because like I wasn't used to some of the stuff that was brought up. And I hit a wall and I'm like, I'm not living like this anymore. What do I need to do? And I sketched out 2 processes. I sketched out a process for getting clients because at that point the need was money and like how to get clients and actually create money in my life. And then I was like, wait a minute, I have all this training. I know how to manifest. I'm going to sketch out this manifesting process. And I set myself a goal of $50,000 in a month because I had, you know, that part in The Secret where Jack Canfield's like talking to W. Clement Stone. He goes, pick a number that'll blow your mind because you have to get your crazy head out of the way. I picked $50,000, 30 days from nothing. And at the end of it, I was like, I had made 20,000, not 50,000. And the thing that I did that was so pivotal, like at the very beginning of the process, I said, okay, this works. I know that it works. I just made it up. I just pulled it together, but I know that it works because I've seen people do it. I see people make this money. I know it's possible. I'm not going to get into the song and dance about whether it's possible or not. And I'm going to take the attitude that if I don't get the 50K, it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It means that I need more practice working the process.
Beautiful.
And I was like, I didn't know what I was doing at the time. Like, I had no idea that that was the smartest thing I could have ever said to myself. But that really is it. Like, you have to really come at this from this place of like, I don't need any more proof. I'm going for it. And I am acting like this is real to me. And because it is.
You know, you said something that for the first time in my conscious awareness, I became aware of it. When I learned about the universal laws, for me, it wasn't like, well, let me just dabble in it and see if it works kind of thing. And there's people that would go, oh, well, law of attraction works sometimes. And people, some people know how to use law of attraction. It's like, no, law of attraction is consistent all the time, 100% for every single person. And when I heard that, I went, oh, okay, well, if that's truth and it's universal and it works for every single person, that became my belief. It was like, okay, so it's not about me. It's about this universal thing that I have to then learn how to work with.
Exactly.
It's working all the time. And for me, it just became such a belief. And that's how I bought into it. And because of the buying into that and belief in it, how I've manifested all that I've manifested. So it's like you said, if something's not manifesting in the timing or the way that I want it to, it's not that law of attraction doesn't work or that universal laws don't work or that there's something wrong with me or that, I'm not using it correctly. It's just, I need more information. Maybe more time. Maybe there's the resistance I have to release. But what you just said, it really hit me because it's like, yeah, that's one of the things I did is I never questioned it. It's like, law of attraction exists. It exists for every single person. And
100% of the time, all the time, and every day, all day, every day.
And it's up to me as the individual person to work with my own energy so that I am attracting what I want and less of what I don't.
Yeah.
When you come from that perspective, it's like, I believe that when I send out vibrations of abundance, it's coming back to me. There's no question in my mind.
Yep.
And that's when I see the evidence of it.
Mm-hmm. And that to me is like, that's the very first step. If you're not willing to do that, or if you're unable to do that. And it's really a challenge for people. I mean, I remember even back in my Wiccan training when I was in my early 20s, one of the big bugaboos that people would come up against, and this is a totally different context, and it was much more of a spiritual path than like a make stuff happen path, my tradition. But there are people who are like, I just kind of can't believe it. And they would get stuck.
Yeah.
And that's like, there's no other way to move if you're really, and I understand how challenging it is, but so for anyone watching this and this is resonating, that's the place to put some focus and attention and really ask yourself if you're willing to let that go, because that's really what it comes down to. In the core manifesting process, we have 2 steps that work together. We release and step in, release and step in. And the releasing part is the linchpin of it. It's like, and we can, drop things very quickly by reaching for what we want more and putting our focus and energizing there.
Absolutely. And I love what you're saying about that too, because it's like, in order to bring in a new energy, something has to be let go. So in order to bring in an abundance, a mentality of abundance and thoughts of abundance and an energy of abundance, the lack has to be left. And that's
does.
the part where some people get really stuck because they're afraid to do the letting go because it's what's comfortable. And even when it's uncomfortable, it's what they know, and it keeps them in their comfort zone. And so it's like having that balance, like the tides going in and out, like nature, everything releases and then comes back in. And for us to get that energetic flow with that, that's huge. I mean, you have to be able to let go in order to bring something new in. So
yeah, years ago, a mentor in a program, I've never heard him say it again, but it was it was like a line, kind of a throwaway on a program of his I was listening to. And it's just, again, one of those things that stuck with me. And this is David Nagel, is the person in question. I want to make sure I credit him for this. The only cause of non-miracles is resistance. Meaning, the only cause of non-miracles is not releasing. Right? Because what releasing is really about is like letting go of resistance, whatever that is,
right, to
step into the new thing. And again, like, I have been on this journey. I know you have for a long time. It takes practice. It takes a while for us to, we can happen in an instant, but like, it's not natural to us. So we have to practice it. It feels weird at first. It's not, I want to really honor the experience of people who are there, and I certainly have been there. And I can just say, I just see it over and over and over again in all my students and in myself. Like, the more we're able to be in that discomfort of the releasing and the moving to another thing, the easier it becomes over time, and the faster and faster things show up.
See, Elizabeth, I find that it is natural to us, because I look at my kids and they just naturally do that. Like, I learned how to not do that. Most people learned how to pile on the crap and deny them.
Yeah. And thank you. That's really important. That's what I meant, is unlearn it. It doesn't feel natural now, but you're right. Of course it absolutely is.
And that's
my 3-year-old is really great at like letting stuff go and like,
that's it. I mean, it's like when you get into that, when you're reminded of it, it's like there's a part of you that already knows this. And the more you practice it, you start tuning to a different station of lack and limitation, and then the programming and all that we've identified with as a human perspective. And you come from that other place, it's like, oh yeah, well, that feels right. I mean, that's why I bought in, because I'm like, I don't know how, but this feels right to me. This over here does not. This feels right, and I'm going this way.
Yeah.
But something else you said is, it does take time. I mean, I think that's why so many people got frustrated with The Secret. Secret comes out, and then they think they're going to be these manifesting machines. And it's like, what I like to say about that, it's like going to kindergarten and thinking that you now deserve a master's degree. There's growth and expansion, and each time, and I'm still learning. I've been working with universal laws for 20 years. And, now what I've gotten good at is not expecting life to be all rainbows and lollipops, that when contrast, because that's where I was like, what the hell? God, my life's supposed to be perfect. How can a flight be delayed? Yeah. I'm a manifester, like just stuff like that. Right. So, when the contrast shows up, being able to then take the tools and apply it and change the focus from the contrast and get really, really clear on what you do want, and then be able to move and flow into that place. But there's always going to be something that shows up, a contrast. And it's like not making it the issue or the circumstance that becomes the issue, or, how you make your decisions, but going, oh, I don't want that. I want this instead. And then moving forward from that. And realizing that gap is always going to be there.
Yeah. And that gap is really useful, because what it does is create an energy that we need in order for all this to go, which is creative tension. The gap between where you want it to be and where you are, there's in it, there's I don't want this, I want this. There's tension. And that tension always looks for resolution. It's like when you're in a sales conversation and you've just said the price of your program, and there's the silence, and it's the person processing, I'm here, I want to be over there, and this is the opportunity. Am I going to step into it? There's tension there. And one of the reasons why is in business coaching, we're like, never talk during that moment. Like, don't say anything. Let them speak first, is because that tension is going to go somewhere and we want it to go in a particular direction. So if there's something that you don't want, I invite people to really lean into that tension. And then the mastery part, the skill part, is to direct it, as you said, where you want it to go. It's like, I don't want this. I'm going to use this like discomfort feeling to go in the direction that I want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I know you're going to give a gift to
Yes.
everybody. We're going to put it underneath so everybody can go underneath the video and just click the link and it'll take you to Elizabeth's gift for you. But if you could describe the gift, that would be great.
Yeah, it's our cheat sheet and video training, and the video is like 20 minutes. It's super short, on the 4 core manifesting tools. So these are the 4 tools that you already have, and they're really the tools that we have to move the needle, to call things in. I love tools. I've practiced magic for years. I've got 3 altars behind me. I have my crystals. I have my candles. I got my incense. I got like all that. I love that stuff. And it has a purpose. It helps us direct our focus and all that. But what really makes the magic is how we use these 4 tools, how we use our perception, our energy, our faith, and our choice. So that's the training. And then there's other trainings that people get invited to. One will walk you through our core manifesting process and our 30-day game plan. So
awesome.
Lots of good stuff.
So everybody go below the video, click the link, go and get your free goods from Elizabeth, and let us know your taking away. We had a really awesome discussion today on manifestation.
Super juicy. Love it. I could talk about this all day.
I just love that level of discussion. So that's what I appreciate. And that's why I'm doing the show, is that, I want people to be able to come somewhere where they can get more inspiration, get more education, take away something, whether it's just one little thing that will help them understand the process better so that they become that master student of universal laws. So Elizabeth, thank you so much for being my guest today. I'm thrilled that you're doing the work that you are in the world. There's a very much needed expansion of this information, and I appreciate being a light with you and spreading this message.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sweetie.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody. Leave us a comment. Let me know what you're taking away.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching, and here is a related video to watch right now. Also, check out my free webinars on creating whatever you want in your life using the universal laws that I explain in each webinar. So share your thoughts by leaving a comment and continue the conversation at ChristyWhitman.com.